It's Freestyle Friday!
Coming in hot with quick shots of inspiration on a variety of topics.
What's something in your life right now that you're doing that you're like, gosh, this doesn't feel super aligned. Like I'm doing it to do it, or I'm doing it because I feel like I'm supposed to, or I'm doing it because I said I would. But if I'm being completely honest, it's kind of an energy leak. It's something that I don't really want to be doing. And I'm asking you that because we recently had an experience. Maybe you heard some ads that we were running on it, but we were going to be launching a Patreon. And a Patreon works great for some podcasters. But what a Patreon is essentially this platform. It's an extension of more content for people that have a podcast, right? It's an opportunity for you to see video. It's an opportunity for you to create a community, maybe have like a mastermind or hot seat coaching or Q&A or like a chat where you really get to know the podcasters better, other people that listen to it. And like, it's like this behind the scenes network of more content. And so our producer, Chase with Upstarter Pods, came to us and he's like, you guys have a loyal following. Like you have people that listen. People are wanting more Sandy and Wade. People are wanting more Getting Magnetic. I think it'd be really smart for you to start a Patreon. And this would be a great way to monetize the podcast. People that are show supporters, people that want more content, they can pay a monthly subscription to listen to your Patreon. And so the moment I heard about it, I was like, okay, we already have like a lot on our plate. So, I mean, you basically need to talk me into it. But if you guys want to do this, we can do this. And like from the beginning, I was like, this does not feel aligned. But I was like, Wade, you are the lion. I'm going to let you be the leader. If this is what you want to do, like you want to do this. And he was like, yeah, let's do it. So let's dive into this a little bit.
Yeah. So this is a great topic, great episode because Sandy's, I feel like always been intuitively really good at this and just going with gut feeling, like what feels in alignment with me and what doesn't. And when something feels like we all know, and sometimes we try and suppress it, stuff that doesn't feel in alignment. And the idea of a community and adding more value is great. But with everything we have on our plate right now, we're like, gosh, are we going to go create another thing to go have more responsibilities to go put more content out? And it did feel like that gut feeling like, oh, there was this resistance to it. And this resistance and this out of alignment in our gut to it. But it was kind of like, we were just like pushing forward on it. And because we're like, okay, this is a good thing. This is something we have to do. This is where we're at in the podcast stage, but it was out of alignment. So I think this was again, a Coach Neil spark thing. We're going three episodes in the last 4 on Coach Neil and inspired episodes. We'll have to tell him that we're going to be like, Coach Neil, you're a star. You're a star too. But we were just talking through. And he's like, wait, I'm hearing you talk about this Patreon and you're stressed about it and you're anxious about it. And you're not an anxious guy, really. He goes, you know what? I don't want you, and I'm going to tell you this. I don't want you worrying for 1 minute about Patreon in a given month. If you do Patreon, are you going to worry for 1 minute about it? And I was like, oh yeah, way more than 1 minute. Because we got to add all this extra content and schedule all these things. He's like, all right, what? Don't do it. Why would you do it? And one distinction he made, he said, there's a difference between podcasters and people who have a podcast. Podcasters wake up every single day and they're like, this podcast is my main thing. It's what I do. I'm going to go look to get ads on it. I'm going to go look to do all these things. People who have podcasts are you and Sandy. You and Sandy have a brand. You have a bunch of businesses. You love what you do. And this happens to be a creative vehicle for you, a platform for your voice to connect with people. You have a podcast. Don't go worrying, spending time on Patreon. And it just clicked with me right there. I'm like, gosh, it's been out of alignment the whole time. And Sandy's felt that way. And I've been kind of pushing it forward, but it comes back to those things, like the lesson here being, what do you, when you feel like something's out of alignment or that gut feeling like this isn't right, or you're really resisting it. And there's a difference between fear and resistance. And we were talking about this on an MVP mastermind call type thing, a mastermind call. And it was, okay, is there a difference between fearing something and resisting something? And the answer is yes. When we're fearful of it, that doesn't mean don't do it. There's a lot to learn in fear. But when we're just resisting it because it feels out of alignment with our soul and our gut, that's where it's like that warning sign, like, you're not going to want to do this. It's not going to end well.
So I just want to say thank you to those of you that trusted us and immediately signed up for the Patreon. There were some of you, we had different tiers, and there were some of you that signed up right away and were like super excited. And we genuinely want to say thank you because like, honestly, it feels good to know that people like love this platform so much that they'd be willing to pay a monthly subscription to get more content. But the reason we decided not to move forward is because it didn't have our whole heart. And that's how we do things. Like things have to have
full ass.
Yeah. Full ass, not a half ass. And so we reached out to people that signed up, especially for the second tier, and said, thank you so much for trusting us. Not only are you going to get a full refund, but we're actually going to offer you like a one-on-one, 30-minute coaching call just to get to know you better and help. Like maybe we can give you some advice, some guidance, just as like a token of our appreciation for trusting us. But we just wanted to share today, like that was something that didn't feel in alignment. And yes, there's so much upside. We could be making more money. We could do this or that. We're not here to make more money. We're here to make an impact and to live every day by our design. And having a Patreon and creating more stuff is not a life by design. That's a life by I'm doing this because I was told that I have to, or I feel like I'm supposed to, or people are counting on it, and no, canceling that.
Yeah.
So what
for
are
the
you
listener?
For the listener, what are you doing that does not feel in alignment, even if you are so far in? Right? Like we had over 28 videos recorded for Patreon. We had all this content, all this stuff. We recorded reels about it. We had run like ads on the podcast, all this stuff. And like we launched it. And then literally a week after we launched it, I was like, we can't do this. And that doesn't look good, right? It's kind of like we made a mistake. Like we did something that isn't in alignment, but we're just being fully transparent. It's not in alignment. So, and people really respect that. People are like, wow, like that's cool that you guys aren't just doing it to do it. So what are you doing that you feel like maybe, oh, it's too late, I can't go back, or this or that? That's not true. That's just a story you're telling yourself. If you're doing something right now that you don't fully love, stop doing it. So that's our message for today.
So wrap.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We love you. Stay magnetic.
Only those that can see the invisible can do the impossible.
So remember, you are magnetic.